So tell us a bit more about the divine spirit you're mentioning in your work.
I don't refer to the divine spirit or to God per se, but rather to the drives of humanity that seek the divine and seek God, and through this conception of the divine are able to use it as a medium for their own expressions. And I feel that this is a really critical piece of intelligence and a critical instrument in our consciousness. You see from history that the obsessionality with the divine, with cultic practices, and with many different types of gods was very important, and the service of God and sacerdotal rites were very important in the structuring of our civilization, and later on of our language. So these were recipients and depositories of knowledge and of meaning and of consensual meaning. So when the atheist critics such as Richard Dawkins, who writes in his God Delusion, or Christopher Hitchens, or Sam Harris, criticize as medieval throwbacks religious ideas, I feel that this does not fully capture and express the nuance that is embedded in the structures, the psychostructures of religion. So whilst these same intellectual leaders and scientists, whilst they are all for development, they seem to detract, they seem to criticize the substructures, the microstructures that we use, our building blocks, our cement, our mortar, the building blocks of our psyche that allows us to adapt to the future. So, and one notices that these very intellectuals, they have their intellectual roots within the culture of religion and of myth. And it seems it's a wonderful set of circumstances where it seems that from the crucible of mythology, one is able to extricate oneself and not to believe in it, and so it is not the intellectual prison that these atheists say that it is, that one should free oneself from, because they themselves were able to achieve an objectivity and a critique of culture which elevated them beyond that culture from these structures. So I believe that the study of religion and myth and archaeology and ritual and faith are the ABCs and the ways in which our intellectual prowess is empowered, and it is indispensable. And so as to your question about the divine and is the sum total of our conceptual experiences in this subject. So it should certainly not be rejected. It needs to be thought about more and retrained, but by no means rejected.